So this is part 3 of our 3-part series for the Chapter 7 alternate grader. And on this one we're going to be completing steps 11 through 16. So the first step we're going to do is to click on the acquisition worksheet and then insert a function in cell E2 to calculate the loan amount based on the loan parameters. So if we go into loan amounts, we're going to say equals our costs, and we'll minus our down payment, and we'll do both of those as absolute references. Okay, we come up with $470,000. And then on the next formula in E3, we're going to calculate the number of periods. So if this is for 30 years and we're paying monthly, we know that we could just simply do the months times the years. We'll make both those absolute values, and we'll come up with 360. And then the next one we want to do is we want to calculate the monthly rate. So to do this, we're going to take the APR, or the annual percentage rate, and then break that down into a monthly rate. So to do that, what we'll do is we'll click on the average, or the APR, and then we'll divide that by the number of months. And then that will give us our monthly rate. So after we do that, the next step we want to do is calculate our monthly payment. To do that, we can use a financial calculation, and there's one in here called payment, PMT. If we click on that, now we're going to fill in all the 5 fields here. So our rate is going to be our monthly rate, and we'll fix that, absolute value. And the NPER is going to be the number of periods, so that's going to be 360. And this PV is going to be the present value. So the way I usually do this is I'll click on the loan amount, which is the present value. And if we look down here, we're going to see that that's minus 25.95. So that probably doesn't make sense that we're borrowing this money from the bank, and the bank is going to give us $25.95 every month. So what we'll do is we'll make this negative. We'll make this negative, and then we'll also lock this guy down as well. And now we have a monthly payment of $25.95.36. So that's going to be the first, looks like that's going to be the first steps 11 through 14. In step E6, what we want to do is we want to enter a function to calculate the total interest paid after 5 months. So that sounds like we're going to do cumulative. So we wanted to find out that full value of each of the 5 payments, what part went to interest. To do that, what we can do is go back into our financial calculations, and then anything that's cumulative, we have a couple different formulas. One is a cumulative interest payment, and the other one is a cumulative principal. So since we want to do the interest, it would be the cum IPMT here function. And our rate's going to be the same rate we've been using, 0.44%. Lock that down. The number of periods is still going to be E3 for 360. And our present value in this one is going to be E2. And then we'll figure out here in a second whether we want to make that positive or negative. And we said we want to do it over the first 5 periods. So our start period would be 1. Our end period would be 5. And then on this one you have to do the type, and a lot of times you won't see type here, but if you go over to the scroll bar and move it down, you'll see type, and 0 just means at the beginning of the month. So if we do this, we see that there's a negative number here. So usually that means that we have to make our PV value negative. So if we make this negative, and actually let's fix this here. If we do this, we'll see that we kind of killed our formula here. So if you do that and the formula goes away, you'll simply take the minus sign off. We'll click OK, and then now what we can do is we can come up into the formula and just say equals negative, put a minus sign there, cumulative payments, oh, I'm sorry. We could say minus cumulative payments and press enter, and there we go. So this number will represent the interest paid over the first 5 payments. So if we look at this, we can see that the monthly payment is $25.95. We'll see the interest payment down here versus the principal payment. So what we want to do down here is fill in the first 5 payment periods. So if we do 1, and I'm going to kind of go out of order of what the instructions are saying, but you'll kind of get the gist of this. But we want to do the fill for 5 payments. So if we go into home, we can do the fill series. And this is going to be a column. We want linear growth. We want to start at value 1. We're going to step by 1 value. We started at 1, and we want to stop at 5. So if we click OK, that'll give us our first 5. And for our payment dates, we want to do a relative reference, or a reference to our first payment date, B7. So what we could do is, the dates get a little funky once we start auto-filling them. So the easiest way I find to do this is if you just fill down, you'll see that the dates are not, it's basically pulling up the pattern of 0, 0, then payment date, and then 3020. But what we could do now is fix this by doing the fill series. And we're going to do column, so it knows that it's going to be a column. It knows that it's going to be a date, and what we want to do now is we could do month, but since we already have 5 values, we don't even have to put a stop value in here. We could just click OK, and that'll fill in the months, so 420, 520, and so on. Okay, so for our beginning balance then, let's do a relative reference, a reference out to our beginning balance, which will be our loan amount. And then on this one, we want to, we'll leave that right there. Okay, and then we want to do our interest payment. Now this interest paid is not going to be the cumulative interest paid for the first 5 periods. This is going to be the interest paid for period 1. So if we go into our formulas in financial, this will be a IPMT that stands for interest payment, but we're not going to do the cumulative interest payment. So all this data will look familiar. We want to do the rates and lock that down, and then the number of periods, lock that down, E3, oh, I'm sorry, this period is going to be period 1. So what we're going to do is this period is going to be represented by our payment, so we'll click A11. So for this one, as we pull it down, we wanted to calculate the interest for payment 2, payment 3, payment 4. Therefore, we will not lock this down, and we'll just keep this as an absolute reference. So for the number of periods, now we'll go up into here and do E3, and that's going to stay constant. And our present value is going to be our cell up here, and just like before, it's going to be constant, but we're not going to do our negative because we're doing an interest payment. And a future value, that'll be, leave that blank, but don't forget on interest there's always that type. And we're going to put type 0 here. Actually on this one I think we can put the negative present value. It's only on the cumulative that it does work. And there it did. You saw that we put a negative here, and then that's 2056. So that does in fact work. So now let's do the principal payment. So we'll insert a function, and this is actually, let's go back into our financial, and this is going to be a principal payment, or PPMT. Okay, so our rate is our rate. We know where that's at now. And this period is going to be like the interest period. It's going to be cell A11. We want that to vary. The number of payments is going to be E3, and then we could do E2 here. That's going to be our loan amount. We want that fixed, and we can also make this negative. And then we want to come down here, future value, and type a 0. Okay, and now we get 539. So the way to check this then is you could look at, if you highlight these 2 cells, you can see with the cursor over these 2, down in the bottom right hand corner where it's green, you can see an average and you can see a count, and then you can see this word that says sum. So if you look at that sum, the sum of the principal and the interest, amazingly, is the amount of our monthly payment. But what we'll find over the life of our loan is that interest will go down every month and principal will go up every month towards the loan. So our ending balance after the end of payment 1 will be our initial balance. So we're going to say equals our beginning balance minus the principal we paid. And we want these to vary because it's going to vary each month. And then now in cell C12, we can put a reference to our ending balance. So our ending balance for payment 1 is going to be our beginning balance for payment 2. At this point in time, we could just autofill down. So we click this down, and you'll see initially we have 0 because we don't have any value in our ending balance, but we'll fill those in. So if we do our interest payment, and then if these numbers are off, make sure you set your appropriate absolute references. Now we do our principal payments, and we'll do our ending balance. Okay, and as you do that, now these guys filled in. So just like I was saying before, the life of a loan, the interest payment will go down every month. So in period 1, we have 2056, and then in period 5, it went down to 2046. And we can see that our principal payment went from 539 to roughly 549 over the life of the loan. So this will happen all the way till you get down to the ending balance of 0. So this concludes our part 3. So hopefully you found these 3 parts helpful, and that will help you on the grader assignment, the grader that you will submit. So this concludes our 3-part series.